Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Q&A. In today's video, I wanted to make a video basically addressing all of the questions that I get on a kind of daily basis about different products and why they sting or burn or cause the skin to itch, particularly around the eyes. I get this question a ton with different sunscreens, but I also hear it a fair amount when it comes to products like the CeraVe face wash or CeraVe PM. You know, is it the change in the product formulation? Why is this occurring? So today's video, I'm going to address kind of this topic in a global manner, and hopefully this video will help those of you out there who are struggling with this. But in general, the take-home point from this video is that I really can't answer your question in a succinct way. It's a little more complicated than that, and hopefully this video will help to clarify that. But starting off, I think many of these symptoms like burning, stinging, irritation, tingling, sometimes redness, they fall into the territory of what consumers refer to as sensitive skin. Sensitive skin is not really a medical disease or a medical condition or a diagnosis. It's more of a lay term used to describe a variety of different symptoms, largely that result when things come in contact with the skin, like skincare products, cosmeceuticals, personal care products, and it is a commonly reported problem. There are surveys out there of the general population in which over 50% of women surveyed report, quote, sensitive skin, and 40% of men likewise report sensitive skin. Sensitive skin is more common on the face, or more commonly reported with things applied to the face than with other areas on the body. The skin on the face is a lot thinner than other areas of the body, and there are little tiny nerves that innervate our skin, and they're much closer to the surface, and so they're kind of being hit a little bit harder with topical products. And those little nerve fibers are largely responsible for a lot of the symptoms of tingling and burning and itch. And there are also blood vessels that are a lot closer to the surface in the thinner skin on the face. So that's why you can get some symptoms like redness and burning as a result of irritation around those little blood vessels that are a lot closer to the surface. Outside of the face, though, other areas on the body where sensitive skin is commonly reported are areas like under the armpits, under the breasts in women, and in the groin area, in the genitalia. The skin in these areas is either a little bit thinner than on other areas of the body, plus it is under occlusion, meaning you've got skin on skin kind of increasing the penetration of things applied topically. So it's not uncommon to have increased irritation sensitivity to products applied in these areas. So what's causing these symptoms? Well, it's a really, really difficult question for me to ever answer, or for anyone to ever answer you without a really, really thorough investigation. And the reason is, first of all, I can think of at least 10 medical conditions that cause these symptoms of burning, stinging, redness, irritation. Off the top of my head, dermatitis, eczema, irritant contact dermatitis, allergic contact dermatitis, rosacea. There's something called aquagenic pruritus, which is basically your skin itches whenever water touches it. Yes, that's a real thing. There are many, many, many conditions out there that can present this way. So it's really impossible for anybody to tell you what's causing your problem without a thorough evaluation by namely a dermatologist to figure out what's going on. There are a lot of situational factors also that govern symptoms of sensitive skin, like your environment, the ambient humidity, if you're on any concomitant medications. In women, it is not uncommon for women to report increased skin sensitivity cyclically with their menstrual cycles. Hormonal influences play a role in our skin sensitivity and the sensitivity of nerves and blood vessels in the skin to outside stimuli and things applied external from the outside. And everyone always asks me, like, what types of ingredients should we be looking for and trying to avoid if we have sensitive skin. That is likewise really, really difficult. And here's the deal. Probably one of the most common causes of these symptoms of sensitive skin, particularly the things that you are applying on your face, is an irritant contact dermatitis. Irritant contact dermatitis is an inflammatory reaction in the skin as a result of things applied to the skin externally. It is not an allergy, all right? It is a sensitivity to things that are irritating. And there are many, many things out there that can be irritating and that are commonly irritating. The irritation can occur pretty quickly upon applying the product, but you should be aware it also can occur with a delayed onset. So you may be using something that is irritating to you, not that you are allergic to, but that is irritating to you, that doesn't cause you any symptoms until you've been using it for maybe a few weeks, all right? And so not only can this present with just symptoms of irritation and itching or tingling, it also can present with some redness and flushing as well. Some of the most common irritants out there are things like, well, water, frankly. Water is probably one of the most common irritants. And that is why we as dermatologists always advise you to keep your bathing to short duration. You know, keep your bathing habits limited. Stay in the shower as short of amount of time that you possibly can, because the longer the skin is exposed to water, water is an irritant, dries out the skin, it strips the skin of its natural barrier, requires the skin to do more work to repair that, and really predisposes you to dryness, irritation, stinging, all of these symptoms. Excess water is common. Water left on the skin, as it evaporates, it pulls more water out. That's called transepidermal water loss. That can exacerbate irritation and dryness and symptoms of sensitive skin. Applying things that are irritating onto wet skin heightens their irritancy. Applying things onto wet skin under occlusion, like a sweaty armpit, for example, also really can amp up the irritation there. So it's really situational. There are some ingredients that are common irritants in skincare products. These include things like lactic acid, propylene glycol, cocamidopropylbutane, and cocamide derivatives are common irritants. But it's important for you as a consumer to not attempt to define or determine what this ingredient is, and to realize that it may not necessarily be the ingredient on its own, but things in the product that are influencing how irritating that ingredient is to you. Things like the pH, the concentration, other irritants that are present in the product, as well as the situation in which you are using the product. Like, are you using it in an occluded surface? Are you putting it on wet skin? Are you using it in thinner areas that are more susceptible to irritation around the eyes, on the neck, that kind of thing? So it's ingredients, it's situational, it's product dependent, it's vehicle dependent. You know, is it a cream? Is it a lotion? Is it a liquid? There's so many factors that can go into whether or not an ingredient is irritating to you, and you know which phase of the moon it's going to be irritating to you, that you can now begin to appreciate why when you all ask me in the comments, when I use this product, why does it stink? I can't answer that. It could be one of 1,000 things out there. And the threshold for these symptoms varies amongst individuals tremendously. And having irritation from an ingredient in a product does not necessarily mean that you have a heightened susceptibility to irritation to that ingredient, say, in other things. All right, so you know, trying to play detective can really lead you down the wrong path with some of these things, and I see it time and time again. People try and exclude certain ingredients, and that's really not a logical approach to this. The other thing that you should be aware of with irritation and sensitive skin and sensitivity is that it can be cumulative. And what I mean by cumulative is that one ingredient may be very low likelihood to be irritating. But when combined with other ingredients, each of those other ingredients starts to have a cumulative effect on how irritating the product is. Things that are sold at Sephora, for example, are classic culprit products. You look at the ingredient list, and it is a phone book in length as far as all of the stuff that they have in there. Other culprits that you need to be aware of are things that are touted as all natural and, botanical. These can really be the most offensive to the skin. Natural does not imply safe or effective. And things like essential oils, plant extracts, plant derivatives, these all can contain irritating substances no matter how they were processed. They are processed in cosmetic products to try and minimize that risk, but when compounded with other things, they can still have a cumulative irritancy, all right? So, the all-natural botanic extracts, the jazzy flower extracts that are in a lot of these essences and toners, they can really, really be problematic. Stuff that's in a lot of the sheet masks, it can be cumulative, and so don't be fooled into thinking that if you're using all natural products that's going to be the way to go. So if you're suffering with this, what should you do? Well, my overriding recommendation would be to seek evaluation and management. See a dermatologist. Figure out what's going on. Do you have rosacea? Do you have sensitive skin? Do you have one of these other conditions? Is this a type? There are a laundry list of conditions that could be going on. You should be evaluated. If you have a suspicious product that you're curious about, take it to your visit and show it to them and say, I think this is causing it. I didn't have this problem prior to starting this, and now I do. That can be helpful information to maximize the outcome of results that you get when you visit the dermatologist, because I know, those visits are really, really short. You don't have a lot of time with them. So bring the products with you. Special testing may be needed to determine certain things that you should definitely avoid that are individualized to you. There's a special test that dermatologists do, not allergists, dermatologists do, called patch testing, to test you for allergies to things that you may have that come in contact with the skin. All right, so that is a different type of test than the prick testing that allergists do. This is very different. This test specifically for contact allergens. So that's a type of testing that may be indicated for you depending on how your rash is presenting and your symptoms and your background medical history. So trying to DIY this and figure it out yourself, you're going to go down a rabbit hole, and you're going to get nowhere, and your skin disease may very well get worse. All right. So that would be the goal. All right. Get yourself to a dermatologist, figure out what the heck is going on. I appreciate and understand that getting in to see a dermatologist can be next to impossible, can take a very long time, and may be too cost prohibitive to you, depending on your insurance plan and what your situation is. So what can you do yourself? Well, here are some skincare tips. First of all, if you're putting something on your skin that burns, tingles, and irritates you, stop using it. It's really that simple. I think one of the things that I hear in the comments that kind of terrifies me is that a lot of these skincare companies and brands and cosmeceutical brands, they'll have some sort of hotline for you to call and talk to some sort of agent. That is not a healthcare provider that you're speaking to. And I hear you guys tell me that these representatives will kind of guide you through, like, oh, well, try using less of it or use it every other day. And in my opinion, that they should not be doing that. Go ahead and call them up and tell them you're having a problem with their product, but I wouldn't take any advice on what to do from these people, because they don't know your medical history. They can't see you. They don't know what the rash looks like. They have no idea what your background situation is, what other medications you're on. It's really poor advice to be giving out. Stop using the product, try and see a dermatologist, report it to the company, that can be helpful to them. So, maybe if it's a problem for more people than just you, maybe they'll fix it or get rid of it. But don't go taking advice from a hotline of the skincare company and their representatives. Just stop the product, report it if you want, and try and see a dermatologist. Then stop using all that expensive crap, all those jazzy serums, things that have, lists of all natural botanic ingredients, brighteners, plant-derived whatever. Stop using that stuff. It is not going to help, and it's only going to exacerbate things. And really, really minimize your skincare routine, minimize the number of things that you're putting on your face. Stop the spin brushes, stop the scrubbing heads, stop the washcloth exfoliants. As far as what you put on your face, all right, there are 3 essentials that you've got to keep, and you've got to try and find the 3 essentials that don't exacerbate this. Essential number 1, wear all day, every day until the sun goes down, is sunscreen, a moisturizing sunscreen. The moisturizing sunscreen, and all sunscreens, by the way, are moisturizers as well. The reason that you need this is many of these skin conditions that I am alluding to earlier in the video are brought on by or exacerbated severely by exposure to ultraviolet light from the sun. So you need to be wearing sunscreen all day until the sun goes down and you go to bed. And at the end of the day, you need a gentle cleanser to wash your face. Only want to wash your face once a day, particularly in this situation. Otherwise, for all of you out there who aren't dealing with this, you can wash your face twice a day, whatever. But when you're in the depths of this, don't be excessively exposing your face to water. Water is one of the most common irritants, all right? So try and limit your water cleansing to once a day, and use a gentle non-soap cleanser. Don't just put an oil on your face, use a gentle non-soap cleanser. I will list some down below in the description box, but you don't want to be using just like an oil on your face and leaving it on there. That can actually be irritating. You want to use a non-soap facial cleanser. And thirdly is a moisturizer to go to bed with at night after you have cleansed the skin. The reason why a non-soap cleanser is important is because particulates, allergens, irritants in the environment, things that are maybe aerosolized and landing on your face and driving the rash or worsening the rash, they should be removed at the end of the day to try and help the skin heal itself. Then the third thing that you need is a moisturizer to go to bed with at night. All right, a very gentle, minimalistic moisturizer. This will really facilitate and aid in healing the skin barrier, which in the setting of sensitive skin is often impaired and kind of inflamed. So that is a key third step. No masks, no toners, no essences, no 80 steps, none of that, all right? None of that is going to help this. You really have to dial it back. And as far as your skincare products, like what are good products to pick, the less attractive the packaging, the better. I will list some of my favorites down below, but you guys have heard me talk about them. Here in the States, we have Vanicream. Vanicream brand makes wonderful products which are very safe to select in this situation. Low risk of exacerbating things. I will list some of theirs down below. They have a light lotion that can be used on the face at night as your moisturizer. They have a moisturizing sunscreen that can be used during the day, and they have a gentle non-soap face wash. The brand Pearson & Covey makes a variety of face washes and moisturizers which are also wonderful. In Canada, you guys have Cliniderm, that is wonderful. And in Australia, you guys have QV Skincare, also another likewise brand. I will list all of these down below in the description box for you guys, so check that out. But really keep it minimal. No brushes, no scrubs, no toners. Do your very best to get in to see a dermatologist so you can figure out what's actually going on rather than attempting to self-diagnose and self-treat. So from here on out, anytime I get the question in the comments, why does product X, Y, and Z sting, burn, tingle, I'm just going to direct that comment to this video, and I really hope that it addresses it, and in that I really can't answer that question directly. And it can be one of thousands of things. It's really difficult to say for sure, but hopefully these steps and tips will be helpful to you in that situation. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe.